My name is Rhapsody and welcome back to Slice and Dice. Going into normal, we've got a thief, a fighter, a defender, an acolyte, and a cultist. Up against two archers and two rats here. I will take out one of the archers immediately with a ranged attack on the thief there. We'll follow up with the fighter. Yeah, defender, use that. That's your best side. Acolyte, that's probably your best side as well. Cultist, that is definitely your best side. And does this give us the ability to kill everyone? Okay, so if I cut the fighter and snipe the other archer, then I get two targets remaining on the field, both on 1 HP. Are they gonna flee? No. Damn. So they've got 2 HP on their board. I've got 2, 7, 5, 2, 2, 7, 5 is numbers. 16. 19 with the cultist. Okay, so I only have 19 HP and they have 2. If I had 1 more HP that turn, they both would have fled. And that is because targets will flee if they have 10 times less HP than the party. Gladiator versus Sparky. I do like Sparky's mana gain. I really, really do. But okay, hang on. Let's have a little bit of a look at our actual party as it currently stands, right? We have decent damage on the thief. We've got individual hits of 2. We've got half of their sides with that. The fighter follows up with 2s for 2 hits and 2 defends for 1, 2 hits for 1 as well. That was not a good way of explaining that, but it's not a great character at the moment. Kind of consistent though. The defender has a 3, a 2, and a 1 shield, as well as 2 1 hits. Acolyte. So our damage is quite low right now. That's what I'm seeing. The cultist is a large contributor to our damage with the ability to cut as well as generate a bunch of mana at the same time. I think I'm going to take the gladiator for the ability to engage enemies to try and get extra damage on them on turn 1 so I can start pushing targets down. Turn 1 can be a really big bursty turn. Gladiator defending for 2 as well as attacking for 2, more than happy to let him do that. More than peachy keen to. Push all of the rest of these rolls. Yeah, it goes okay. We have the ability to cut the top liner. So I don't really need to defend the cultist as much there. Because now we can cut the top liner and also deal 4 damage to them, taking them out, defending the cultist, revealing the rat, and keeping 1 mana for the rest of the turn for up next. Otherwise, we were going to have to use a burst if we wanted to kill the lower wolf target ourselves. Ooh, I'll take an engage side, sure, even if it's only the 1 engage. It's good enough for me at this point. So that's 2 damage on the wolf. We'll follow up with another 2. We'll follow up with another 2. We'll follow up with cut, and then 1 to take out the rat. Wolf Ears versus Copper Ring. Wolf Ears does give 2 max HP to the thief, which is not inconsequential at this point. And there's also the Copper Ring with an empty max HP as well as a max stored mana. Honestly, even giving the Wolf Ears to the cultist at this point for 1 more max HP might be a good idea. I could also go for a random tier 0 or tier 2 item. You know what? Boom. Give me a... Oh, it's twiddle. Swap the top side with the bottom side. So that does nothing for any of us right now, but it could be used to modify the sides importantly for some combination with another item later on. Tier 0 items tend to be like that. I'll lock in 2 damage on the thief. Will I lock in 2 damage on the thief? The ability to kill the archer would have been really good with just a ranged hit, but no, I'll lock it. I'll lock it. Oh, baby. We can kill the wolf on the top line? Actually, this is great. Yeah, the cultist is being targeted by the archer. Yeah, so we're actually fine doing this. Push the roll. All good. Defender, defend the cultist. Actually, no, not the cultist. Defend the gladiator. Gladiator does 4 damage to the wolf. Thief does 2. Cultist uses cut in order to kill the archer, and then that makes the goblin flee. Kill him in 1 turn. Ninja versus Bard. So the ninja has 2 damage double use for a dagger. Also has 1 damage copycat on other side. So copycat says copy all keywords from previously used dice this turn, and then finally dodge all enemies' attacks and effects. And then there's the Bard with the 2 shield charged, bonus equal to current mana, 1 shield to all allies, gain a reroll as a cantrip, as well as a 2 mana single use. I do like the Bard, like, a lot. And with the Cultist currently out on the field, we do have the ability to generate a huge amount of mana for big shields. There is also the Ninja here, who would be able to pick up things like Cleave, could pick up Cleave from the Acolyte, could pick up Engage from the Gladiator, but if the Gladiator is using Engage before the Ninja is trying to follow up with Engage, it's not particularly effective, is it? That said, this is a 4 damage side, the 2 damage double use that the Ninja has access to there. I think I'm going to take the Bard. Single individual large defenses go pretty well in the Alpha and Wolf fight, and also AoE defenses go pretty well in this Alpha and Wolf fight, so 2 reasonable justifications for it there. Let's go. Nice. They're all doing AoE. In fact, I will take my AoE defense as a result of that. That defends for 4 by itself. That is a good number as far as I'm concerned. The Gladiator attacking and defending for 4 would be good. I'll lock in the Thief's best side. Push the roll on the rest. Absolutely, the Cultist is going to take as much damage as possible there. Hey! And the Cultist, rather. The Gladiator gets the final 2 defense for themselves. So, it's a total of 5 mana we have access to this turn. I could kill the Wolf on the top side with that. And in fact, I believe we should. So, I'll cut the Thief. We murder the Wolf on the top. And then I will burst the Alpha once. Because otherwise I was only going to be able to save 3 of the mana. I need a huge damage turn right now. The Alpha is doing huge damage and they're not even managing to take out the target. That is the premium opportunity for this. Incredible. So, if the Acolyte Cleave heals herself, the Cultist has enough in order to get the pain side off. This isn't going to be lethal, is it? No, in fact, we are just short. Literally 1 short. And the Alpha is going to flee. There we go. Benevolence. Allow the enemy to flee 20 times. Friendship Bracelet. And here's the item that taught me the mechanic for people fleeing fights. Friendship Bracelet, sorry. +2 empty max HP. And monsters flee if you have 5 times as much HP as them instead of 10 times. Citrine Ring and Wonderfy. So the Citrine Ring currently affects only the Acolyte's ability to get 2 mana, basically, because I wouldn't do it for the Cultist. Wonderfy adds single use and +1 to the 2 rightmost sides. That is not awful for the Acolyte, because then the Acolyte gets, 2 mana pumps at the start, which is really big, and then afterwards, the Acolyte is mostly looking to heal anyway. I'm gonna take Wonderfy. I think it's a good item. I think it's underrated for me. Also, this is already single use +2 mana, so I could give that, 3 mana single use. It's not huge, but it's a tier 2 item. What do you want out of it? What do you want? Do you washing and fold your laundry? I can't do everything by itself. Oh boy, that's damage. Okay, so we can definitely take out the barrel, which will take out snakes either side of it. The Cultist can't take any damage this turn, otherwise they will just die. So yeah, I guess I shouldn't have pushed the roll then. No, I think I can kill. No, I think I can do this. So it's engage on the barrel, kill the barrel, and then it's just cut and double burst, baby. Kill him on turn 1. Druid and Myco show up now. Ooh, Mycologist. Well, hang on. Also, there was a comment on an earlier episode that was saying that Spore worked differently to how I thought it did. In particular, I think it said that it adds +1 to all sides, but only adds decay this turn. This says adds decay and +1 to target sides this turn. So I believe the +1 is just a current boost, not a perma boost. I'm almost certain of that. I mean, the Mycologist could easily wield the Wandify, because reviving the topmost defeated ally, usually if I want to use that, I would like to get 2. And I don't want to use that multiple times a battle. And +1 mana decay. I mean, 2 mana decay, just completely remove the side. Seems good enough to me. I usually want to try and roll for other things, like the growth sides. Alternative is the Druid. They have access to a lot of mana themselves already. Balance is really good. Deal 1 damage to all enemies and heal 1 to all allies. That gives us some area of effect damage that we don't yet have access to. That's going to get more important soon. I'm going to take the Druid for that reason. Then we'll give the single use to the Cultist. So worst case scenario now, the Cultist rolls a minimum of 2 on the first turn. In terms of that mana gain. The Bandit will flee if we attack the adjacent for enough. In fact, that will set up one of the goblins to almost flee. So, do I have anyone else that can do 3 damage in an individual hit? By themselves? Literally no one? Uh-oh. Yeah, no one has the ability to do enough damage. Okay, so I guess that means we now kill the Bandit as our priority. Yikes. Oh boy, didn't get anything out of the extra at the end. Let's see if we can even live through this. Okay, there goes the Bandit for the first, and then we can burst you. Yeah, if I burst you to death, I lose the Thief. Because both goblins are attacking the Thief. I mean, I guess I don't have to kill the Bandit this turn, and I am going to have to kill 2 goblins overall. So let's go 4 damage on the Bandit, and then I'm going to kill the top goblin. So now I only have to kill 1 more Bandit, and the second goblin will flee in the next round. So it's only 4 damage. Much more simplified. Yeah, this works way better. The Bard had a lot of HP to spare there, frankly. That'll help to cast the Cultists without losing them. Ooh, beauty. Don't even have to go that far. Clumsy Hammer and Scalpel. +1 to all damage sides. I mean, +1 to the 2 damage growth is not bad. Clumsy Hammer has never really sat right with me. Four damage, heavy, and eliminate. I mean, I guess you can put it on something like, you know, Thief, maybe. Heavy and eliminate. Has to be the largest and the smallest target on the field at the same time. I guess I've never taken it before. Let's take it, because you will eventually just get, you know, possibly, although not in this instance, more unlocks for having picked the Clumsy Hammer. Okay, 2 War Chiefs on the field. Would love to take 1 down. They have 4 damage. Set up the shield against the next target. Yeah, I think we just do this straight out. And then defend the Gladiator, because we can use the rest of this already just taking out the War Chief. Actually, we're over-defending the Gladiator, so we can even cut against the Gladiator in order to save some extra HP there. Two, 1. I mean, no amount of block is even going to help me here. 1, 2, 2, and final burst. Get him. Rogue and Evoker. Rogue does give us access to some poison, don't have any access to that just yet. Evoker, unfortunately, takes away a little bit of the usage of our Wandify. 2 damage cruel hits are starting to become more powerful. Not going to be particularly effective in this fight, unfortunately. How's my damage against, like, a big boss? Just, like, one big boss. Pretty bad, right? I think I do need the cruel side and the poison. I think it's exactly because the other things are bad at the moment. I almost never want the one self-heal, self-shield side. So I'll take the eliminate on the cultist there. Especially because if we roll it on turn 1, it's just 4 damage against one of these targets. Incredible. Okay, we got an extra reroll. The rogue is being targeted by 2 people, including 1 directly. I think that's a good time to dodge. Gladiator gets their best side. Druid gets their possibly best side, considering. AoE defense on the Bard as well. Wow. That worked out really well. Okay, so the target I want to take out first is ideally going to be McGrath. Yes. Let's shield everyone and do the defense, and then... So I want to split the damage, actually, right now. I'm not looking to take someone off the field yet. It'd be too much damage to waste to only focus on taking one person off the field right there. Especially considering I was already nullifying one of their targets on field. Okay, so this 3 already kills one of the targets. I mean, this 1 already kills one of the targets by itself as well. But I don't think we have to lock them just because of that. Okay. So the 3 kills Agnes instantly. If I cut the top liner and then strike you, I can then murder you afterwards. Could I theoretically have gotten the kill that turn? Possibly. But only 1 health left on McGrath. I'm happy to let them flee. Terrarium replaces the 2 right sides with shield 2 growth and 1 mana growth. I mean, obviously awful with the Wandify, but shield 2 growth and 1 mana growth are not bad. I mean, you know, it's just an upgrade for the Gladiator at this point. However, there is also the mini crossbow. Replace the rightmost side with 2 damage ranged engage. I don't have many ways to deal 4 damage to an individual target at this point. Having 1 more way of doing that is pretty good. 1 more target that can possibly roll damage in the Bard. Yeah, let's do that. Heck, I could even give that the Wandify. Have it be 6 damage doubled, as well as the 3 mana single use. Yeah, I think I actually prefer that a lot in this fight, because it has now the ability to possibly take out the ghost just by itself. And with being 3 damage by base, it's pretty good at taking out bandits too. Okay. 2 mana on you is pretty good. I'd love the rogue to be able to dodge this round, but I'm not going to rely on it. Gladiator attacking and shielding at the same time seems exactly the vibe I need to put you on right now. Dang. So currently I lose the cultist. I can take out both bones this round. And that would be enough to keep everything except for the rogue alive. That looks a bit like this. Although I can also burst now to keep the rogue alive. That's the right play. Finish off the fanatic in the next turn. I never even thought about taking out the bones first in that fight. But I guess if the fanatic is living to the next turn anyway, might as well. So that's enough to kill the fanatic by itself. Unfortunately, the ghost is a bit of a nightmare here. Ghost is now immune to damage this turn. If I block the cultist, I can get 4 mana back, and then I can block the rogue once and twice in order to save them from taking any. And now we just look to kill the ghost. Nice. Full utilization of our resources here. Cultist, kill him with the clumsy hammer. We finally did it. Anger the ghosts. Kill 5 ghosts, unlocks a new monster. That looks like a boss for me. And then after that, there was also another... Which was it? Unlock any 40 achievements. We've now got 25 more items in the game. This keeps happening, by the way. Okay, infused herbs, origami, 2 of hearts, first aid kit, leather glove. We've got a bunch of new items. I'm not gonna read literally every one of them. We'll see them as they come up. At the moment, though, we have access to a Fiend as well as a Glacier. I do like the Fiend, keeps some AoE in our build. Also, I like the Fiend and the Druid combo in particular. The Druid has balance, deal 1 damage to all enemies and heal 1 to all allies. Then the Fiend has deal 1 to all heroes and monsters. So if you use both of those on the same turn, and it's not difficult to generate 4 mana on a turn where you have a Druid and a Fiend, you can do 2 damage to all enemies, as well as keep all of yours stable. Pretty good. I'm gonna take the Fiend. And then if we let them have 3 extra monsters in 3 Slimelets, we can win a random tier 0 item. Do I even want to let that happen? Probably not. Oof. Yeah, tier 0 is probably not worth it for us. Heavy eliminate for... I don't really want to lose any of these spaces anymore. The Fiend having 2 damage, single use self-heal? That's a bit more important. Okay, I'd like to do 5 damage just to the corpse, if possible. Heal the rogue, please don't just roll cantrips and hit the spiky person. Otherwise, my life was over. Quite quickly. As quickly as it began. Okay. Now, if I do this in the right order, because the Quartz is immune to spells, so I have to make sure that I don't get the engage damage here. That'll kill the Quartz. And then we can follow up by preventing the Rogue from taking too much damage. If the Rogue rolls 2 cantrips this round, they die. I'd really like them not to do that. Sure, lock in that cantrip. Don't just die suddenly for no reason. Have some point to your death, please. It's a lot of mana we now have access to. If I burst for the Rogue, then I can burn and balance, getting 2 damage against the enemy as well as healing the Rogue back up 1. And I can burst 1 time in order to save the Druid on fields. And then, in fact, I can even hit 2 times if I really wanted to, but I would like to... Well, actually, you know what? If the Rogue is going to roll a cantrip next turn on their first turn, they're going to die anyway. They have no armor at the start of the next turn, so So be it. So be it. I'd love to heal the Druid in some way if possible here. Rude. There goes the Spiker. We get our Rogue back. Shuriken, add ranged and chained to the two right sides. Ooh. I'm going to take the Shuriken here. And I think that's what I'm going to do. Now the Rogue doesn't have the ability to dodge. However, cantrip range chain. So cantrips will trigger this to have cantrip range and chain. It's possible that I can double the effect of the ranged engaged chain as well. Let's have a look at this. Cantrip is our way in, and then chain just continues it. That's not going to share a keyword with anything I've used before unless I engage on a different target. But also, it doesn't need to share a keyword. It just instantly kills a sniper. That's already really good. Large amount of defense against a single target would be really good for us right now. Gladiator engaging would actually be their best space if possible. I'll settle. Rogue takes out the sniper that otherwise would have taken them out. I'm going to strike you. Go for the burn. Oh, I don't have burn and balance. Right, it's one more mana I would need to do that. Okay, that's cool. Instead, I will just remove that target and then prevent more of an effect on myself. Honestly, I could also just use burn this fight. I should do. Removing the effect of my engages, unfortunately. So it should both be fine. That'll be fine, that'll be fine. Okay. Let's have the sniper. Oh wait, Druid will die within a single action here. I did make this a lot worse on myself than it needed to be. Buddy. Well, we're all fine now. Sure, there were a couple misplays in the end, but it didn't matter. Prophet. Heal 3 rescue is a really powerful side. Also, Soothe, 4 mana for heal 1 to all allies and regen. If you get enough of that going on, you just heal up at the end of every single turn, every character. I really do like the idea of doing that. However, Kronos is also here. Gain 1 reroll cantrip. I do love having cantrips because they feed into the chaining engaging kind of thing that we want to do. Kronos also has slow, deal 1 damage, weaken cleave, as well as a reuse space and 2 2-mana grows. And a dodge effect as well, just for good measure. I don't know if I am a growing build. I do like large initial damage. That's really what we do right now. I think I have to take the Prophet. Yeah, I'm pretty comfy with this. We're up against the Baron now for the first time. The Baron has Summon 2 Bones, 2 sides that do that, has 1 damage Poison Cleave, and 3 sides that are 9 damage Heavy. They're also accompanied with 2 Ghosts. And the Baron also has Mana Glutton, so every second HP we take away from them, out of their 25, we'll get 1 mana. Neat. Prophet getting 2 mana on the first turn is one of the best things they can do. I'd love to be able to do the ranged engaged chain here for the rogue. But I can't confirm that unless I get another cantrip. And I got the cantrip from the rogue. Dang. Okay. Let's get some mana out on the board. I can even do burn and then soothe. Which actually seems like a pretty good idea right now. However, before I do the burn, I should make sure that I get people closer to... Yeah, closer to the edge. Get poison on the Baron, obviously. And then we go... Burn. Fiend does 2 damage to the Ghost, doing the overkill there. Wait, no. That has to be to the Baron, because I need to have the ability to soothe and then also burst to keep the Prophet around for the next turn. Everyone having regen 1 set up on round 1 is not nothing, especially against bosses. Might turn out to be nothing if nothing else really follows up for us here, though. More mana, more health, lot of defense this round, That'll kill the Ghost on the top side. Okay, I'm just going to take a reasonable guess at what would be a turn here. And then it's the... Wait. How did you escape being... What? Did you heal somehow? Ghosty boy? Oh, good. No, because I didn't push you far enough, because I had to do the damage to the other target. No! That's pretty bad. Well, that Ghost is not going to be killable by me this round, which means it is definitely going to try and get my Prophet, my Fiend down. Exceptionally rudely. So I can get up to a total of 6 mana, if that's going to help me here. I mean, it can. We'll burst to save the Prophet, and then soothe, getting a second regen out on the field. The regens are also equaling out the poison that enemies are putting on me, and overwhelming the poison the enemies are putting on me as well. Yeah, the 3 heal, unfortunately, is not the right turn for it. This is 3 heal as well as rescue, so it can be used again if it saves a hero, but it's just... The peril is not currently well distributed for it. Rogue, you don't have a dodge side anymore, so I will lock you with a poison. That's good enough. 4 max HP is a good way to save that rogue from dying. Excellent. Okay, finally we're gonna get this last rogue down. Last ghost, rather. Sorry, down. We can push the roll on everyone else. Still. Obviously pushing on the bard, who's currently doing nothing with that. That's fine. So... I can soothe and then burn. And then that leaves us with just the Fiend currently imperiled, who can easily be saved. We We get 2 extra mana at the start of the next turn when the enemy takes their poison. Yeah, the 3 regen on every character at the end of every turn. We have a Fiend, poisoned 3. We have Prophet, poisoned 1. We have Bard, poisoned 3. Gladiator, poisoned 2. Without those, we would have been losing HP every single turn. But on top of that, we're also gaining HP instead. It's going so well. Oh my god, they chain. They chain. Oh my god. Engage. Double engage. Get the Baron down. Dynamo adds single use and error to the 2 right sides. Single use, obviously replace it with blank this fight after you use it, and error, gain +1 at the end of each turn. There's also tie, adds pristine to the middle left side 2 times in effect if you have full max HP. That being on the Bard is really good. Get a bunch of extra rerolls for us? Thank you. I'll take that. Demon and Spiker. Come on then. Well, at least my chains are chaining. That's going to be good to see. Unfortunately, the Rogue is also going to take damage. Oh no, wait, but that one was ranged, so it hit. It's all good. Oh, nice. We hit the ranged one again. Wild. I'm gonna get the Prophet to keep the Rogue alive. My god. We also rolled the 4 damage. Unfortunately, both of the targets have now taken damage, so engaging will not just deal double damage on top of this, but this is getting towards the ability to just take out the Spiker pretty early, which I think is a great idea. We have enough to save you. I guess I'll keep the Prophet around then. And hold. Yeah, usually I'd want to take out the Demon here first because it's got summons. Wow, everyone's targeting the Fiend this round. Rude. Poison on the Rogue. I mean, that's pretty good, but also I do want you to be able to cantrip. Yeah, and you cantrip pretty effectively. This is doing double damage because of it. Yeah, getting a heal as well as 2 mana is just good. AoE is also very effective there for us. The Gladiator defending the Fiend, how likely is that to be the play here? It's possible. My gosh. These chains don't stop. I mean, it's a ranged attack, so I really want to do it against the Demon on the top because the Demon has Hellfire. On hit, deal 6 damage, but if I use a ranged attack, I just get to avoid that. I'm gonna go a burn to the entire field, and then a soothe to balance that back out. Defend and defend. I guess I could also just burst the hell out of the Demon at the end there. Actually, that's probably a way better way to do this. Just burst, burst, there goes the Demon. So I miss out on the soothe, unfortunately, for doing it that way. But ultimately, I think this has got to be worth it, right? The Rogue would be so dead if not for the ranged cantrip they keep rolling. Oh, that time didn't roll the ranged version of it, unfortunately. And again. Ooh, baby. I'm gonna use an engage shot on the top liner just to set up the chain for the Rogue on the Spiker afterwards. And then we basically just have as much mana as we want to possibly do, whatever we could possibly want to do with the mana that we have to do it with. Dabless and Stalwart. Dabless we've unlocked recently, is not super exciting, but is powerful. Has 3 damage, 4 damage, and a 3 damage, as well as a 3 mana, a 5 shield, and a 5 heal. Just good numbers. And then we have Stalwart, which has shield 3 cleanse. I have no cleanse in the entire party yet. The other character who would likely get it is the medic, and the medic does not have it, and in fact only has regen. So if I want cleanse for, like, you know, petrification and other effects like that, really I need to take the Stalwart right now. I'm not loving it, but I will do it. Okay, Fiend. Well, actually, having a 2-side's still good for you. Pristine to the middle left. I'll put that on the Stalwart. Possibility of shielding for 6 as well as cleansing for 6. Extreme overkill. Prophet could save someone from death right now if they roll maximum HP. That kills a target. That kills a target. Oof. Yeah, the recovery is not going to help us out here, Prophet. So this ranged attack that is engage, I can take out one of the Thorns, which has a 1 damage Petrify. This is a 2 damage Petrify on the other Thorn. Or I could target the Sniper. I think I target the Sniper. Take out the Sniper that would otherwise kill the Fiend. And then this Stalwart, if I attack either of the Gnolls, I will save myself. So it just comes down to, do I want them to be exerted next turn, but also have dealt less damage? No. I'd rather save more HP here. I think that's the right decision for us. One damage engage. Unfortunately, that's not really going to do too much against a Gnoll. It would kill a Thorn, but unfortunately, it would also kill the Gladiator in response, because the Thorn does 5 damage with its spikes. Okay. I'm gonna have the Gladiator attack that Thorn. Okay, that does kill them. Because they get 2 block. Oh, yeah, but that's gonna be too short for the kill. Got it. This ranged engage can kill the Gnoll, or it can kill the Sniper. I was hoping to be able to use this for engaging, for saving people this turn. I guess I theoretically still can. I use Burn, setting up heals re-rescue. Heals re-rescue. I can use it again if I wanted to. And in fact, maybe I do. Allows us to take out another one of the Thorns with the follow-up from the Gladiator there. Got a couple of petrified sides, but we don't have anyone exerted this turn, so we should just be able to push through the enemies here. Stalwart getting damage on one side is a pretty good way to confirm a lot of it. Yeah, okay, we're fine. We are through this battle. Boots of Speed and Ogre Blood. Ogre Blood, add Bloodlust to the middle left side. Oh man, I really wish I had all the characters back at this point. Bloodlust to the middle left side on Engage, I guess, kind of fine. There's also Boots of Speed. +1 reroll and replace the leftmost side with dodge all enemies' effects and attacks. I don't know if the +1 reroll makes that one worth it. I'm going to take the Ogre Blood. I want to give it to the Gladiator, but also I know that it's not really going to do too much right now on the Gladiator. Specifically in this fight. Well, I guess the cantrip daggers give the Engage a better chance. Okay. 3 snakes and 2 slates we're up against here. A lot of damage these slates are asking us to deal to them. Hopefully the cantrips come in clutch. Prophet hits one of their best signs, and so does the Stalwart this turn. 5 damage from the ranged chain engage. Yeah, I can't turn that down. Okay. First off, the rogue has range damage engage. I should use that against probably one of the targets going for the prophet, so we'll go for the one that's doing the most damage out of those. Then we'll follow up with burn. Damaging everyone once. Very important. That's 2 like individual characters worth of hits against the slate. We'll keep the Fiend healthy. We'll block as much as we can here too. And then I guess the Stalwart, I'm happy you're taking damage here. We're going to take out the other snake also to prevent the prophet from taking another poison. Unfortunately, the bottom slate just punched my Fiend directly in the face, so we're not going to have the ability to generate much mana. Getting the heal rescue side on the prophet would actually be incredible this round. I'm gonna have the Stalwart settle for the double heal there. Everyone else, I think, can keep pushing. Maybe even has to. Okay. So the engaged Bloodlust just murders the snake, gives extra damage to the rogue, but that doesn't matter. If we get you to defend yourself enough that way, I do really want to get Burns out on the field wherever possible against the slates here. We have so much space for effective heal rescues right now. I would love to see them. Although I guess I actually already have lethal if I just stop right now. And that is because I can use 1 burn effect and then 1 attack against either of you. Slates down. Barbarian versus Fencer. Having area of effect is increasingly important here. The Barbarian dealing pain to themselves equal to the damage that they're dealing is kind of tough for me to cope with. That said, we do have area of effect damage in the Fiend, meaning the Bloodlust from the Barbarian can be huge. I'm going to take the Barbarian and try and make it work. Wrench. If we put 2 extra monsters in here, a War Chief and a Slate, yikes, we can get a Wrench, +1 to the middle left side. Does anyone value that +1 enough? I don't think anyone values that +1 enough to take it. Bloodlust in the middle left side. I'm going to give that to the extra max HP that the Prophet can give. Alright. I think we're as set as we can be here. Troll King, Slate, and Archer. I would love to get a bunch of regen up on us, because I know that the Troll King has the, unfortunate 2 damage poison cleave that they're doing here on turn 1. Giant block, though. I'll take that. Bloodlust, because I do intend to burn this turn. Beautiful. So first off, the Stalwart on maximum HP is going to block 6 damage as well as 6 negative effects on the Barbarian that would have upcome. Then I do need to keep the Barbarian around, but I also need to keep the Fiend alive. I think the Slate needs to die first. And I think part of that is going to be bursting it over 2 rounds. I'm going to put Poison on the Slate because that's 2 individual instances of 1 damage. And the 5 damage, I cannot waste. That goes against the Troll King. 1 more burn next turn. Takes out the Archer and puts the Slate to lethal that round. Okay, Barbarian dealing self-damage with that hit. Oh, Prophet, I would really love for you to hit a better side. Oh. How much of the field can I keep alive? Let's burn. Oh gosh. It's not much, is it? We lose the Stalwart. And if the Barbarian wants to attack, I lose the Barbarian as well. Oh. The Barbarian can survive their attack if I use it without burst. Or rather, if I used it with burst. Okay, I'm gonna lose 2 characters this fight. I'm not happy about it. But hopefully, we can pull out 7 damage here with 2 already in the bank. That multi-heal is not actually going to help us in this instance, unfortunately. Rogue, you only have better sides than that for instantaneous damage at this point. Okay. That'll take out the Troll King. Oof. 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 Mirror Mask. We have replace all sides with the above hero's base sides. So you just get a duplicate of a hero, but it's their base version, so you don't get the modifications via, you know, Bloodlust and stuff like that. I could have a second Prophet? Is that good? I could have a second Stalwart. That's a lot of shielding if we had a second Stalwart. A lot of cleanse as well. And then we still have access to Soothe for the heal 1 to all allies. Unfortunately, we can only actually hit that with, you know, Fiend hitting a cantrip as well as then the 3 mana Pain. There's also Wandcraft. Replace all sides with single-use mana sides, retaining their original value and keywords. So it would retain Pain and stuff like that, unfortunately. Their original value and keywords. Oh, that's really annoying. Yeah, that's not actually good for us at all. I think I might take a random tier 8. Scorpion Tail. Add Weaken and Pain to the top and bottom sides. Weaken adds target gets negative N to all sides this turn, and Pain, you take N damage. I mean, the easiest way for me to utilize this is to put it on the Fiend, because the Fiend has these sides that are single-use self-heal and Weaken and Pain. So I would just be able to single-use stop people for a little bit. Unfortunately, we wouldn't get much mana on turns we're doing things like that. I think it's still probably worthwhile. Now, Ranged and Chain. Is there somewhere else I might want to add those? I mean, if I added it to the shield that has double use, it just chains off of itself. But the only thing is, you know, what's going to chain into it? Right, what's going to chain into it? The only thing that we can do that with is cantrips. Okay, never mind. Has to go on the Rogue again. This is a little underutilized at the moment, unfortunately, for my tastes. Basilisk, Fanatic, and 2 Snipers. Hopefully we get some backline damage here. Ugh, Stalwart's taking a huge amount of damage on turn 1, unfortunately. Bloodlust the best side for the Barbarian at that point. I will take 2 damage, sorry, 2 heal as well as 2 mana. I can't heal up the Stalwart enough, right? To keep them alive. No, so I'll use that to protect the Fiend. Okay. So, protect the Fiend, and then the Fiend will take the self-damage. Then the Prophet protects the Barbarian. We're just letting go of the Stalwart. It's taking too much damage this round to really even save. If I do burn, though, then the Fiend is suddenly back in Death's realm. I could follow up with a Soothe in order to equal that back out. So the Barbarian is doing 6. That goes clearly against the Fanatic, who will now die as a result of their own actions here. Just going to use a single burst to keep the Fiend around. Yeah, now they're heavy targeting the Fiend. How dare you. Barbarian rolls their death side. I would love if you didn't use that. Heal and mana. Good for me. That'll do too. So, heal and mana on the Fiend. Then the Barbarian has to use their attack next. We do a burn, killing the top line. We burst, killing the next. And then the Fiend funds the final burst. 50 deaths. 50 hero deaths is unlocked an early item for us. Sorry, an early item for us. It's unlocked an item for us called Early Grave. +3 the empty max HP. And add cantrip to all pain sides. Oh, baby. I love the idea of trying to get that to work. Dancer and Artificer. Well, that's interesting. So Artificer has AoE damage to spare. Has blades. For 4, deals 2 damage to all enemies. However, the Artificer has a bunch of single-use sides. 4 mana single use, 4 mana single use, 3 damage, single use, self-heal, 2 damage, single poison, single use, and heal 10 single use as well. They become significantly worse over the course of a fight. Heal 10 is really big as well, though. It would also be a really good character to hold the Wandify. Just having a 3 damage poison single use. I mean, these are both already single use. How much more single use can they get? There's the Wandify for you, and Weaken and Pain to the top and bottom sides. Interesting. I kind of wanted to have other characters have some single-use sides, because if they did, then I could chain off of that extra single-use on this. But I can also chain extra poison off of doing a poison attack from the rogue, or doing a ranged attack also from the rogue. I think maybe the rogue might give their ranged attack to someone else this round. Possibly the Barbarian? Maybe the Prophet? Yeah, I think we'll give it to the Prophet. And then the Rogue will have access to their full dodge this round if they want it. Actually, you know what? No, the Stalwart. I don't want the Stalwart to exhaust themselves any turn, or exert themselves any turn if possible. 2 trolls for Wisps. Instantly they decide to kill the Stalwart, how dare they? Let's get some max HP for the Stalwart to try and save them. I mean, I can give you the big heal, Stalwart. And then you have clean and pristine, so you can also block someone for a huge amount. That's worth it at this point. Barbarian doing 4 damage on a Bloodlust side. I think that's good enough here too. Okay, Artificer full heals the Stalwart. Stalwart then protects the Barbarian from incoming effect as well as 6 incoming damage. The Rogue hits a Troll with a poison effect. And then a Barbarian attacks one of the Wisps that's going to be next to a Skeleton next round. This Wisp. Prophet, you should probably make sure that the Rogue doesn't just die to an AoE next round. So killing that Bones in the top line will then make the Wisp above it only take 4 damage, and the Wisp below it die. We can't let too many summons go off, otherwise we'll just be dealing with summons the entire time while we die to everyone else. Prophet gets their best side, I'll lock that. Big AoE damage available now as the blades can come out. Barbarian. Yes. Rogue, you can continue to push though. Poison again. Do I want poison? Not really. Okay. Now, let's start looking at what we can do. This is currently 7 health and vitality. If I do the blades, it is now 11 health and vitality. We can prevent 3 characters from dying with a single action from the Stalwart there. The Barbarian is probably going to be the target for all of the extra max HP in order to make sure that they don't die to that. Never mind. As it turns out, the Prophet also has inflicted pain on them. So if the Prophet does that to anyone except for themselves, they will die. Oof. So if I did it earlier, before the blades, would I be able to survive it? No. I guess that means the Prophet is just giving out as much max HP as they possibly can and dying this round. Although the Artificer was also supposed to live. Because I hadn't done blades yet. So I could try and take down one of the Trolls even with this, possibly. That's 8 damage, and then this would be 4 if it gets doubled. So for a total of 12. That would put me outside of burst range for taking down the one that's poisoning us right now. I don't think I should do that. I think I do need to take control of some of these Wisps and Bones and stuff. I'm gonna murder that Wisp. Actually, hang on. If we use that to kill the Bones on top, then we can just kill the Wisp next to it. And then if the Barbarian is okay using that to kill a Wisp, I can use the other to kill the other Wisp and prevent any of us from having a negative impact next turn. And we just have 1 Bones and 2 Trolls to deal with. Still a bit tough. Still a bit tough. Even quite tough. I mean, the Stalwart really does need to defend this round. I guess that will save the Barbarian. In fact, the Barbarian's already saved by using blades here. The Stalwart is definitely going down. Actually, I just decreased the damage of the blade first, so oops. Yeah, the Stalwart's definitely going down, so I'll heal up the Artificer and poison the Troll. Alright, can I take down 2 Trolls with 6 HP total? They're doing 3 damage AoE on the split there, so that will kill us. Artificer, you have a self-heal side that would actually be pretty good right now. Barbarian, honestly, you kind of need to attack towards death, if possible. This 2 damage cruel is never going to matter. I guess unless the Barbarian gets 8 damage. They got their 10 damage death. Okay. 10 damage death. Murder and murder. We get 2 people to live through that round. Good lord. Fading. We've killed 15 Wisps, and in doing so, unlocked a new enemy, the Illusion. We also have... if you would like to show me. Troll Nemesis. Killing 10 trolls has unlocked a new item for us. Troll's Blood. Regenerate 2 health at the end of each turn. A tier 7 item right there. Speaking of high tier items, we have Iron Crown and Angel Feather. Oh, baby. Oh! Okay, Angel Feather is huge. Iron Crown is kind of fine right now. Iron Crown would give us 4 for the leftmost side of the Grey Hero. Angel Feather adds Rescue to the top and bottom sides. So, adding Rescue to the top and bottom sides. I could do that to something aggressive, I think, even, like a Bloodlust, and then if I kill someone who's otherwise killing a target, Bloodlust again. I don't intend to use it that way. In fact, I intend to use it for the Angel Feather giving multiple mana gain heals in a single turn from the Prophet, if possible. Or, I can even do it with the Stalwart, doing more defense from Shield 2 Cleave. In fact, I think I'll do it with the Stalwart. And then the right side doing that damage. Let's place that over somewhere else. Anything else I really want to change here? Not so much. I mean, having damaged enemies make this dagger larger is kind of cool on the rogue. Does it weigh out the ability to help the Barbarian more? Probably not. I could give Weaken and Pain to those poison sides as well in order to try and tamp down the effect of possibly the demon here, prevent them from summoning an imp. Okay. Let's go. Oh, everyone with the lesser HP at the start of this fight. Immediately making me nervous. Okay. So, Prophet, you can take that. I would love Stalwart to roll one of the defense sides. Specifically one of the shielding cleaves. Barbarian can do 6 damage in a single hit. That's not enough to kill one of the cores, unfortunately, which is basically the number that matters the most to me. Incredible pickups on both of those. I think I'm fine with the Barbarian. Possibly taking that hit. That actually was pretty bad, though. The rogue specifically taking... Oh, boy. Okay, so, Stalwart. I'm going to block here, which will save the Artificer, giving us the ability to cast this again. I'm going to block here, which will save the Barbarian, giving us the ability to cast this again. I'm gonna defend the Rogue. Now, Barbarian... Yeah, the Rogue's being attacked there. So we attack that way, and then use Blades. Okay, so that's not to save. How well does this even end up doing? Do that, and Blades, and then the Stalwart would try and protect this again, letting the Barbarian die this round. I mean, the Barbarian's basically going to die this round unless I take out the core on the top side, right? I mean, unless I use a burst there, which gives me no ability to actually take out the core in the end, unfortunately. But then I can do that and still get my attack back. Use that attack. Then burst the Barbarian, save them, and then rescue them again. That's a huge amount of defense that we've managed to generate on this turn. And it should make killing those cores pretty easy next turn. Pretty primary targets to me right now. They just do a lot of damage, and they run away. Cowards. Never mind. Less of them available on the field at the moment. 2 damage charge, single use. No, that's not really going to do much damage. Bloodlust. It's pretty good. That's the ability to immediately take out the core. That'll help save a target. Nice. So, if I go there, I rescue the Stalwart, giving me the ability to cast this again, and then I go here, rescuing the Prophet, giving me the ability to cast this again. And then the Artificer is going to have to do something else to help manage this. Yes, okay, he's now taking less damage, and then I do that, and it's perfect! This Shield 2 Cleave Rescue is gosh dang incredible! I'd love to increase the value of it as well. Okay. I'm gonna prevent you from summoning that imp this turn as well. Simply by weakening you with that poison attack. That's a big heal. I think it's time to give that to the Barbarian. I also don't want the Rogue to roll again because they could possibly just kill themselves if they attack the Demon. Barbarian with a lot of damage. Everyone else can push theirs. Prophet. Yeah, you can take that. Nice. I'm going to heal up the Barbarian. Right? Yeah, that's fine. Then I'm going to save the Barbarian and heal the Stalwart. Then I'm going to defend the Stalwart, rescuing the Stalwart and the Barbarian. And then I'm going to do it again. It's so much block. Good lord. I couldn't have even dreamed that this was going to be as effective as it is. In fact... no, too much. If I heal first... No, that makes it worse. What if I burst you and then let me do that? No. I'm trying to make a version of this that gets the Barbarian to be able to get another trigger of the shields out. I mean, I know there's some version of it that does, but is it better than just killing the enemies? Probably not. There we go. Spike is alive. Barbarian has a lot of health. Everyone's pretty good to attack. I think this one feels comfy. Get him, Barbarian. Okay, we have a Sharp Shot, a Venom, and an Artificer. Well, I mean, specifically the Venom and the Artificer because there's poison on all of these sides as well, and the Artificer has the poison chain side, which would be incredible if I can get that off on Hexia. Poison is so big. I could also have the Sharp Shot use ranged Copycat to get chain and the full effect of the poison as well. And there's cantrips after we change the rogue. Kill an enemy with 5 or less HP, not hugely impactful. Honestly, it's probably just Venom. Just the better focus on the boss. And then Bloodlust, I think actually now does have to go back to the heal with Vitality. I'm also going to give the doubling effect to the Prophet for the possibility of on round 1 giving someone like 16 HP. Add Weaken and Pain to the top and bottom sides. For the Venom, I would love to do it, but I don't know if they'll survive me trying to do this to them. If I can, I mean, I'm getting a lot of block out of the Stalwart, and if I can afford to get a Prophet helping the Venom there, being able to weaken them like that is so effective. Let me get the chain and poison double effect off on turn 1. Let me do that. Well, there's the first poison. Artificer can't follow up with that. I mean, they can, but I would prefer them not to. Stalwart could save their full HP this round with that effect. That's actually probably the best effect that Stalwart can get this round. Ouch. Damn it. Didn't manage to get the ideals here. Hexia, at least, is not going to be summoning. Great news for us. I'm going to have the Artificer take out the Imp on the bottom line. I'm going to burst the Demon, and then the Barbarian will have enough damage to take out the other Imp. Now, knowing that the other Imp is actually the target that's going to be taking that damage, what I want to do is get the Stalwart to protect the Artificer instead, knowing that the Imp on top line is going to be dying anyway. So wait, how did we do this? It was that, and then we burst the Demon, and then we killed the Imp. Great. Just a little bit extra HP on the Artificer, definitely worth my time there. More poison, please. Poison, we'll take it. Stalwart, you still want to push your rolls for either cleanse and defend or something like that at this point. Barbarian, you can just take out the Imp. Just managing the field like that right now is very valuable for us. If I use Blades, let's just have a look at this. That puts the Artificer into death range, which I can then rescue them out of. I can put another couple of those down and get Venom to poison Hexia again. Even further lowering incoming damage. Unfortunately, Inflict Pain is going to be on my stuff. I mean, I guess the Barbarian's already fine with Inflict Pain. They already kind of do that. The Stalwart, however, is going to be losing the max HP and is going to be taking a lot of damage every single time they try and shield anyone, which is tough stuff. Artificer, you can take the extra HP here. I was wondering if that hang on. No, I can't use this enough times to shield the Barbarian an extra time out of that. Dang. Okay, so what we were looking to do is that, and then that, in order to save you from doing that. And then this 5 damage can go against either or. I mean, it can even go against Hexia, I guess. That actually might be the right idea right now. I would love the heal rescue side right now. Dose, so that's poison and bonus damage equal to the amount of poison on the target. That'll just double your poison. That's incredible for us. Barbarian, actually it's the Stalwart. They would be able to kill that imp with that ranged attack. Unfortunately, I would really like them to hit a rescue space. Artificer, that is one of your best sides right now. Oof. Oh my god. Finally we get the vitality at the very end of this. Okay. There's a lot we can do in this turn. We have first access to blades, which would then kill the Artificer on the bottom line. Then the poison to Hexia kills them. We can murder the imp in the distance. I mean, I should do this in slightly different order because this is all poorly ordered, just knowing that this was going to work. Let's just keep Venom around. That's enough. And then we can take out that target instantly. We can blow that up as well. And then blades to remove another target from the field. And then literally I just need to kill that demon next round. I got 2 targets on the field that can do it. Oh, there's another demon! Okay, hang on. Whoops! Okay, Venom, you actually really need to deal damage. Pretty much every round. Yeah. So, Prophet stays alive. Guess I do want to poison the other one, so Prophet now stays alive. Okay, Venom, good. Prophet hits their best space again, thank heck. Big effect. Immortality, give your hero plus 20 max HP, unlocks an item, third heart, plus HP is times by 3. Okay, so you'll die at the end of the next round after that, but I'm gonna have inflict pain on me as well. Hang on. Can I even do it like that? I mean, I guess if I don't defend the Venom, though, I do lose them. Oh, but I can keep the Prophet! By having 1 less target on the field, so I'm not using as much inflict pain. Nice. I would love it if that would help us right now, but it won't. So we die first, right? Hang on, poison. At the end of the turn? They'll attack me, but at the end of their turn, they will then die. Is there any other way for me to do this? Like just not having the Venom even attack this round? Demon attacks again, 2 damage. Yeah, I mean, that'll work, because then I won't have inflicted pain on my Venom. Let's just make it safe. That'll do it. Whew! Venom's all you need, baby! Venom is all you need. Okay, that was way tighter than it needed to be at the final fight, but we didn't get as many rescues, whatever. Well done, and it worked out well. I've learned a lot over the course of this run, and I will continue to learn a lot over the course of the next one. Let's also have a quick look at what we unlocked there. That was Survivor. Win a fight with only one surviving hero. It gives us Candle, add Vigil to all sides. +1 to each. Sorry, not 2, for each defeated ally. And Victory adds a new mode, just instant. Instant is play a single random level with random heroes and items, plus X sends you X levels further, and no stats, run, or history. Interesting. I'm going to be reverting to the classic, but for the moment, let me just say that my name is Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Slice and Dice. Up in the top left, you can see the series playlist for the past, present, and extremely long future. Buckle up. Down below, you can see the YouTube recommendation for what it thinks you should watch next and streaming past the names of people so generously supporting the Republic on patreon.com/Patreon plays out of all the thanks. Special thanks this episode to Silly. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves, and I will see you next time.